Hello and welcome to Newsnight. I'm JB Buno.
I'm Manon James.
I'm Irving DeJohn.
I'm Alyssa Lefcourt. And I'm Noelle Webster.
Starting off today's news, we have some sporting news at the University at Albany. Coach Will Brown does indeed move very fast after last week's news that point guard Anthony Raffa would not be returning next season after deciding to transfer to somewhere closer to home. There was a huge spot left open at the point guard position, with the only point guard on the roster being Mike Johnson, who will in fact be a senior next season. So recruiting a point guard for the Albany team was definitely the #1 priority for Will Brown and his coaching staff. And like I said, they moved pretty quick as they've already filled the void. UAlbany men's basketball meet Mike Black. UAlbany received a verbal commitment on Tuesday from Black, a point guard from Fenwick High School in Oak Park, Illinois. Black, who visited UAlbany this week, fills the scholarship vacated by the transfer of Anthony Raffa, and Blake will be able to sign his binding national letter of intent when the late period begins on April 15th. It gives UAlbany a young point guard to groom behind senior Mike Johnson. Quote from Fenwick head coach John Quinn, once again Fenwick being in Illinois, he's a very explosive player. I really think his best days in terms of playing are ahead of him. He's a kid who's going to get better as he gets older. Blake is a 6-foot even point guard who averaged 15.3 points, 3 assists, and 3 steals per game for Fenwick, which plays in the highly regarded Chicago Catholic League in Illinois. Also of note, he said he's very excited as UAlbany plans on playing Syracuse and North Carolina next season. North Carolina, which could be our national champions. So the scholarship has been filled by Mike Black, and we look forward to seeing him next season.
Big news.
Yeah, big news indeed.
Definitely. All right, if you happen to browse upon a news story today that's too odd to be true, please remember this is April Fool's Day. This is when media outlets around the world take a break from the serious business of delivering news and play with the facts a little bit. Well, not as elaborate as years past, the pranks that media outlets harvested this year have been pretty good. The Guardian in London ran a story announcing that after 188 years as a print publication, it will become the first newspaper to deliver news exclusively via Twitter. Twitter, the micro-blogging site, allows users to post updates that are 140 characters long. In keeping with the limitation, the newspaper said it had undertaken a mammoth project to retool the newspaper's entire archive. For example, Charles Lindbergh's 1927 flight from New York to Paris, France, was condensed to OMG, first successful transatlantic air flight. Wow, pretty cool. Boring day otherwise, sigh. And apparently the news isn't always black and white. The Taipei Times in Taiwan fooled many readers with a report that 2 pandas donated by China to the Taipei Zoo were, in fact, brown forest bears dyed black and white. So, yeah. I'm not sure if any of our stories are fake today. I haven't seen all of them, but people actually are believing many of these and forgetting that this is April 1st.
I think my favorite was when Taco Bell convinced everyone that they bought the Liberty Bell, and they were calling it the Taco Liberty Bell. And they were like, no, we're going to help the country get out of debt with this. And people were like outraged.
No, we should start off the show with an April Fool's story. That could be fun. But me, I'm boring with my sports news. So
I was going to say, we weren't that clever.
No.
We don't actually have a point guard.
Sorry, guys.
Oops.
Whoops.
Yep.
Our point guard is Michael Jackson.
Yes!
There you go. Well, for the 20th Congressional District, it comes down to 4 words. Too close to call. All precincts are in from last night's vote, and Democrat Scott Murphy leads Republican Jim Tedesco by only 59 votes, with a margin of 77,344 to 77,285. Thousands of absentee ballots are going to come pouring in, and those will decide who will win the highly contested seat. Both sides postured following the announcement that it was too close to call. Tedesco thanked RNC Chairman Michael Steele for his support and guidance during the race, and Murphy repeated his support for President Obama and thanked supporters of Kirsten Gillibrand, who vacated the seat to join the Senate. A traditionally Republican district, the 20th Congressional District, with a 70,000 enrollment advantage, we will see who will win based on these absentee ballots. It's very, very, very close.
I can't believe it's that close. 59
Yeah.
votes.
Yeah.
59 votes. That's a class here at Albany.
Yeah.
Could change the election. Really just unbelievable. I mean, I've never seen a vote that close in my life. It's very, very small.
Well, President Obama has signed a new bill protecting wilderness lands. President Obama signed legislation that sets aside more than 2 million acres as protected wilderness. The law protects land from California's Sierra Nevada mountains to the Jefferson National Forest in Virginia, as well as expands wilderness protection efforts. The president says that the legislation protects the lands, lakes, and shorelines for future generations. A law, a collection of nearly 170 separate measures, represents one of the largest expansions of wilderness protection in a quarter century. It confers the government's highest level of protection on land and in the United States.
Wow. Yeah.
That isn't April Fool's news, I assure you.
Are you? Really?
What?
No, I'm hoping it's not. That better not be. That's important.
Just kidding. But not really. Maybe I am.
Stop messing with the viewers.
Anyways.
Oh, man.
In some other news, the new Ozzy Osbourne family variety show is at the center of a fight about constitutional rights down in Florida. The Fox affiliate in Panama City, WPGX Fox 28, has opted not to air the show, claiming that the program is unsuitable and contrary to the public interest. WPGX General Manager Jeff Cavalier has said that this is more of an MTV thing. They're reporting it to be a variety show. There's worse stuff than this out there. This show in my market does not serve my public in Panama City. I did not feel it was appropriate. Cavalier added that the Osbournes show would follow American Idol, which is generally aimed at younger viewers, so they didn't really want the younger viewers to watch this variety show. But they instead will repeat an episode of The Simpsons in its place, but viewers are now complaining that the station heads have no right to decide what they can and cannot watch, and are even threatening to boycott the affiliate. I don't know. I don't really know why you'd go to that length for like one Fox network not to play this variety show.
Yeah, it seems like the response has been a little bit, overreacting.
Yeah, like it just
bit.
seems like this guy watched it and was like, "This is terrible. I'm just gonna put on The Simpsons."
Probably was.
No, everyone's convinced it's gonna be canceled after like 3 episodes, and I don't doubt it.
I'd rather watch The Simpsons anyways.
Yeah, me too.
me
These people
too.
shouldn't be
Yeah.
complaining. They should be like, "All right, thanks, buddy."
Yeah, doing us a
Yep.
favor.
When shows fail, just put on The Simpsons. That works.
That's what they do anyway.
Right, pretty much.
Simpsons
Although
are
I
Family Guy.
heard that the
hours.
Simpsons have not been as good as they used to be.
Well, I have a friend that's really into The Simpsons, and the fact that it's been on for how many seasons now? It's
Like
just,
a million?
20.
1.4 million?
I think it's interesting that they're still in elementary school.
Right,
I've noticed
that
that
they
too,
haven't
they never
grown up.
age. No, they never age.
Over time, no, not at all. But switching to a different television channel, we'll go over to Comedy Central. Comedian and TV host Stephen Colbert has warned NASA to name a new wing of the International Space Station after him, or, quote, he would seize power as space's evil tyrant overlord. A NASA spokesman said the U.S. Space Agency is aware of Colbert's threat, issued Monday night on Comedy Central's Colbert Report. But no decision will be made on the node's name until next week. Colbert topped NASA's online poll soliciting names for the wing with a total of 230,539 votes of the total 1.1 million votes cast, according to NASA spokesman John Yembrick. The runner-up was Serenity, and this is where it gets even more funny, which Colbert said is not an appropriate name. Quote, "That's not a space station name. That's the name of an adult diaper." Serenity was the name of a spaceship in the television series Firefly, which spawned a 2005 movie. I think it'd be really cool to see Colbert's name on the International Space Station.
I thought it wasn't
Anybody?
supposed to be the space station. I thought it was supposed to be the
Well,
toilet.
Well, the contest was for the space station.
for a module, a part of the space station.
And that's the part that he wants to be named after.
Well, I mean, there are certain wings of the space, like it's just huge modules that have been basically melded together to form the International Space Station. And one that they brought up in the past month, he wants to be named after him because they started this online contest.
What?
I would
Why?
vote for him. Yeah, how did he even get in that that contest? Like, how did they,
he was just on his show, and he's like, all right, guys, I want you to go out, I want you to vote, and his viewers were just like, okay.
Colbert Nation.
Colbert.
Very strong.
Yeah,
Very
that's
strong.
true.
But-
Plus, it's the best kind of advertising. Think about it.
Yeah.
Your name's in space.
It's just a cool thing to have. Like,
230,000 votes, almost 250,000. That's a lot. It's a huge Colbert Nation.
yeah.
That's really big.
I guess if you don't win the presidency, get your name on the space station.
There you go.
I'd rather have a space station.
Me too. Why
Less
not?
stress.
Yeah.
Stress.
Much cooler.
Well, in a bit more serious news, if you visit CNN.com today, their lead story is that of the Grim Sleeper. If you click on that headline, this is what is printed over an image of an alleyway. A serial killer known as the Grim Sleeper has killed at least 11 people over 2 decades in South Los Angeles. He targets black women, some working as prostitutes, and uses the same small caliber gun. He shot one woman, a lone survivor, before pushing her out of his car. Nicknamed for taking long breaks between attacks, the killer has left DNA and fingerprints, but the police cannot find a name to match either. As detectives struggle to crack this haunting cold case, they say it's only a matter of time before he kills again. You can then click on different tabs to view the victims and where they were found, evidence in the case, theories, connections between the cases, and the detectives working the case. There are no suspects at this time.
Oh, it's horrible.
And they just pieced it together, I guess, and you look at this picture with these images, with this quote over it, it's so creepy because it's in white lettering and some of the letters, the words are like larger, and it's really disturbing.
Yeah.
Well, they call it BTK, so maybe there's hope that they'll find this person.
This is 2 decades that they just pieced together that he's even doing this.
It's creepy.
Very,
Very creepy.
very scary.
Well, in other creepy news, mind control is coming, and it's brought to you by Honda. Opening a car trunk or controlling home air conditioner could be just a wish away with Honda's new technology that connects thoughts inside the brain with robotics. Honda Motor Corporation has developed a way to read patterns of electric currents on a person's scalp, as well as change in cerebral blood flow when a person thinks about 4 simple movements: moving their right hand, moving their left hand, running and eating. Honda succeeded in analyzing such thought patterns and then relaying them as wireless commands for ISMO, its human-shaped robot. In a video shown Tuesday at Tokyo headquarters, a person wearing a helmet sat still but thought about moving his right hand. The thought was picked up by ISMO and then lifted his right hand without him prompting the robot. Honda said the technology wasn't quite ready for live demonstration because of the possible distractions in the person's thinking, but it's coming soon.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
That's cool. Door open.
It's cool and
Car
creepy at the
start.
same time,
Yeah.
because what could it lead to? Like, you start with Honda, like, somebody uses it, start the, push the atomic bomb or something.
Well, I think it's cool. I think it's going to be interesting to see if it ever gets used.
I was gonna
It's very
say,
cool.
see what they use that kind of technology for, like you were saying.
Flush toilet.
Which will have Stephen Colbert's name on it.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So for those of you who smoke, you may be interested in this story. There is going to be a increase in the price of cigarettes for a cigarette tax, approximately about 62 cents increase. The tobacco companies and public health advocates, longtime foes in the nicotine battles, are trying to turn their situation into an advantage. The major cigarette makers raised prices a couple of weeks ago, partially to offset any drop in profits once the per-pack tax climbs from 39 cents to $1.01. Medical groups see a tax increase right in the middle of a recession as a great incentive to help persuade people to stop smoking. The tax increase is only the first move in a recharge anti-smoking campaign. Congress also is considering legislation to empower the Food and Drug Administration to regulate tobacco. That could lead to reformulated cigarettes. Obama, who has agonized over his own cigarette habit, said he would sign such a bill. So maybe this would be a good incentive.
Necessary steps to try and scare people into not smoking, or at least hit their pockets. I mean, with the economy,
Yeah.
I'm sure people. I mean, I don't smoke, but I'm sure people who do smoke are probably finding it more and more difficult to cough up some money out of their pockets every day to pay for cigarettes. So.
Yeah.
They literally cough up the money.
Right. I like that. Yep. So.
Not so far from the truth when you think about it.
Right. So even more of a tax will definitely hurt smokers' pockets. So.
Yeah.
So. I think it's a smart move, probably. But that's do it for this episode of Newsnight. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy your April Fool's Day. We'll see you next time. Take care.